read the script, and then I'm going to share the screen, bring up the slides, and begin, okay? So here we go. Oops, hold on. Okay, so can everybody see this clear? Can hear me? If I speak in this tone of voice, everybody can hear clearly?
Yes.
Okay. So this presentation is called Perception in the Network Marketing Business Model. I'm sharing this presentation with you today because I've recently experienced a significant paradigm shift in my own understanding of the network marketing business model. So the first question tonight is, what is a paradigm? And the next question is, what is a paradigm shift? So a paradigm is a way of seeing or perceiving or understanding something. And it is not a casual way of seeing or perceiving or understanding something. It's a very powerful way of seeing, perceiving, and understanding something. A paradigm is a belief that takes on the power of a fact that becomes a reality. Now, here's a simple example. For thousands of years, the consensus for most human beings was that the earth was flat and that the earth was the center of the universe. Then a paradigm shift occurred when early mathematicians and scientists realized that the earth was, in fact, round, and that the earth revolved around the sun, and that the sun was just one star in a galaxy of millions and billions of other stars. So how did this simple paradigm shift affect things? How did these paradigm shifts affect the way of seeing and perceiving and understanding this thing we call planet Earth and these things we call human beings? The point is clear. Paradigm shifts create change, sometimes massive change in the ways we see, perceive, and understand things. Paradigm shifts take on the power of beliefs, which become the new facts, which become the new realities. Paradigm shifts happen when old ways of seeing and believing give way to new ways of seeing and believing. Now, what happens when you see something clearly, but you are seeing it incorrectly? What happens when what you see clearly, but you are not seeing the whole picture? You are not seeing the whole story. What am I seeing when I am looking at something? So let's demonstrate this with a simple visual perception exercise. I'm going to show you an image on the screen with the next slide. And I'm going to ask you to very quickly write down the first thing that you see, or hold in your mind a one-word description of what you see. Now, I'm only going to show this image for 2 or 3 seconds. So, everybody ready? Here we go. Now, raise your hand if you saw a duck. Okay, you can put your hands down. Now, did anyone see any other image? Raise your hand if you saw anything other than a duck. All right, now I'm going to show this image again and hold it for a few minutes, well, a few seconds, while I read this next slide. Okay, now raise your hand if now you can see both images. You can see the duck and the rabbit. And if you're not seeing the rabbit yet, move your eyes to the right side of the screen. And so to the right of the eye, now you might see the duck and what looks like a duck bill or the ears of the rabbit. Okay, now, how is all of this relevant to our understanding of the network marketing business model? Could there be an old paradigm way of seeing the network marketing business model that may be ineffective and unhelpful in achieving our dreams and goals? Could there be a new paradigm way of seeing and perceiving the network marketing business model that could be a lot more helpful and effective in helping us achieve our dreams and goals? Well, let's take a look. Let's use a simple example. How many times have you tried to explain the power and potential of the multi-level compensation structure in the network marketing business model with something like the following? Or it's been explained to you in this way. It all starts with you. You find 5 people, and they find 5 people, and they find 5 people, and they find 5 people, and everyone orders at least 1 case of ASEA per month, and the average commission is 10%. And after only 5 levels of duplication, you'll be making at least $40,000 a month, and it will just keep growing and growing and growing. And you end up with a structure that looks like this, right? Now, let's put aside all the money considerations for the time being. Let's just focus on the visual structure that these numbers represent, or could represent, or beginning to represent, or take shape in our minds and hearts. Let me represent the numbers differently in the next slide. Let's shift our visual perception of the numbers ever so slightly and see what happens next. Now, anybody seeing anything different? How about now? If you see a pyramid, every time someone attempts to explain to you a network marketing multi-level compensation plan, or when you try to explain this structure to someone else, guess what might be happening? You might see in your mind and heart the perception that no matter what is being told to you, or you are telling to others, guess what? It's still a pyramid structure, and therefore, at some level, it might be a pyramid scheme or scam, and you might resist joining. Or worst of all, you join and never build a successful business, and you may never know why. And this could be one reason why. This could be the reason why. Because seeing is believing. What are you seeing when you are looking at something? If you keep seeing, consciously or unconsciously, a pyramid, every time you think about the structure through which you're going to be paid, possibly for the rest of your life, at some level, you are going to believe that you are involved in a pyramid scheme or scam, and you will not do it. You will not engage successfully, and you will not participate fully, and most likely, you will not ever know why. And at some point, you might even quit, and you will never know why you quit, other than your conclusion that network marketing doesn't work because it's just one of those stupid old pyramid schemes. Now, why might this be true? Because seeing is believing, and it is our beliefs that ultimately drive all of our behaviors, decisions, actions, including our inactions and our indecisions. Now, isn't this interesting? It's a possibility worth considering. Now, let's use a different illustration and visualization exercise to explain our network marketing structure, and then let's see what happens. What if we imagine that the same amount of information and money will be flowing, but it will be flowing through a different kind of structure? Please excuse my handmade images here. Now, so just look at the slide, or if you wanted to, you could draw a triangle in the middle of a blank page, write the word "you" at the top of the triangle and the names Ann and Bob at the 2 corners. Then draw another triangle over it. Add the names Carol, Dave, and Ellen at the 3 points of the new triangle. Now, this new structure represents you and the first 5 friends that you have sponsored into ASEA. Now, let's replace the names with tiny circles at each point of the 2 triangles. Now, let's connect the dots or circles and create a new visual structure. How is this new structure different than the original pyramid structure? Now let's create similar structures emanating from each point or dot of the original new structure. These new structures represent new teams joining your ASEA organization connected to the original 5 people that you have personally sponsored. Here's another view of the same structure from the previous slide. And okay, let's do this one more time. Each added structure is a team of at least 5 new people connected to the people you have sponsored and then connected to the people they have sponsored. And here's another view of the same structure from the previous slide. Again, forgive my handmade drawings. Now, let me go to the next slide, and hopefully things will become even more clear. A network is a community of cells. And a successful network is a community of healthy cells. Now, all the cells in the network are interconnected, interrelated, and interdependent. And they're constantly communicating with each other throughout the entire network. Each cell in the community is empowered by the health and vitality of the redox signaling molecules within it. This is the new science of cellular structures. Redox signaling molecules are the worker bees of the cells. This is the new science of networks and networking. Now, how does the perception of networking as a community of cells differ from the perception of networking as a pyramid scheme? It's night and day. It's a totally different paradigm. It's a totally different way of seeing and believing and understanding the network marketing business model. Now, I trust this presentation has been helpful and insightful, and so here are a few closing thoughts. Every healthy cell in our body has only 2 primary purposes or reasons for being. Number 1, to be and become the very best cell it can be and become. And number 2, to serve the community of cells it belongs to, and to help to optimize the health and well-being of the entire community it belongs to. Healthy cells may turn out to be the very best role models for people who want to be healthy themselves and healthy role models for others. And networks of healthy cells may turn out to be the very best visual structures or role models for people who are striving to better understand the network marketing business model and to master the skills and optimize the benefits that are possible through the network marketing business model. It's a possibility worth considering because what we perceive, we believe. Okay, there's just a few more slides. Here's a quote from Dr. Gary Samuelson. All life is composed of cells, and all cells are connected together in marvelous ways by the messages and signals sent and received between every part of the whole of it. It is a sight to behold. Let us recognize our incredible endowment for learning and carefully consider and reverence the signals we are personally sending and receiving from all living things in our environment. The quality of life on Earth and the quality of all life around us literally hangs in the balance. In other words, a network of healthy cells is a force for good in the world. In other words, when you have been given a gift of great value, you are obligated to share it with others. Network marketing is the greatest opportunity in the history of the world. This is the title of a book written by John Kalins back in 1994. Hopefully, after today's presentation, we can all see a little bit better why this might be true. So, ASEA, our ethos and culture, our network marketing business model, and our redox-based cell signaling supplements are true gifts that help us all to transform ourselves and transform our world. It's not perfect, and it doesn't have to be. It's just better. So in the words of Eric Worre, let's go tell the world. Now, thank you everybody for paying attention here. I just want to end with this very short video about cells. I think this will bring home all the points that we're trying to make here. Okay, there we have it.